let's talk about how you guys think recruiting is going to progress during this time, and some of the things you're seeing and some of the things that you're maybe doing at your program. So I don't know, Tim, if you want to go ahead and lead that off.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think it's very unknown still. I think there's a lot out there that we're not sure of. At least at Division one of the things we do know is that everybody's getting their year of eligibility back. There are certain schools that are giving that money to their seniors coming back. Some can, some can't. So I think there's a lot of guys who are kind of in limbo right now as to, guys who are grad transferring. So at Lafayette, we don't have a graduate program. So if you're going to continue and play your fifth year, unfortunately for us, because we had a good senior class, you have to go somewhere else to do it. So those guys are kind of in limbo because they're moving on to a program that does have a graduate school, and those programs that do have a graduate school have their seniors coming back. So from that aspect, it's tough. If you're a junior in high school or even a senior in high school and you're going into college next year, you're going into a program that didn't graduate anybody in some cases, or only graduated a portion of those guys, and positions that might have been open. Maybe there's an all-conference player coming back at that position and you thought you had a chance to win a job. So for freshmen in college next year, it's an interesting dilemma. For juniors in high school, it's interesting. I don't want to get too detailed on all the rules and what's happening, but I think the biggest thing, and this is what I'm telling everybody, is nobody knows. So before guys make the decision to either, there's a lot of talk about reclassifying going into 22, but this is across the board. Everybody has another year of eligibility. So the same struggles that you're going to hit going in as a junior in high school, you're going to hit as a sophomore going in high school. So I think you really need to kind of see it play out through the summer and see what happens with senior classes, with the draft. Nobody knows how many rounds the draft is going to go and what schools are going to lose guys to the draft or might not lose guys to the draft. So I think there's some time. This is a time where we want to get ahead and we want to find some benefit to being home and having time on our hands. And I think that's driving a lot of people to panic and start to try and make decisions that they don't have to make yet, that there is time to make it. And it's almost a time to not be lazy, but kind of sit back and see what happens in the next couple months and then make a decision based on facts and not hearsay or what might happen.
Yeah, great. Korey, what are you seeing out there?
Yeah, and I completely agree with you, Tim, and everything. And what I've kind of been hearing, it's all kinds of different things. One kid wants to wait, and then the other wants to, make a decision quickly. And as you guys know, we're under this dead period, so it's a very important part of the recruiting process is getting kids on campus and getting them in front of the coaching staff and meeting them and their parents and showing them around everything. And that's being taken away for a short amount of time, and who knows if that gets extended. So you're right, it's very unknown, and as frustrating as it is from a recruiting standpoint, I can't even imagine, some of these kids are wanting to make a decision before summer, are going to have to make a decision, based on maybe not seeing campus. And that's huge. That's huge. And, it's hard. I can't even imagine, a lot of the what's going through these kids' minds. And, I am hopeful that a lot of this stuff, subsides and we can get through this, which I know we will. But it's an incredibly tough time from a recruiting standpoint, but also, from a player standpoint. I can't imagine, the stress that entails with a lot of these kids.
Yeah, and great points on both sides, and one thing I want to touch on that I heard from Tim and then also from Korey is there's a lot of stress, and then the stress sometimes leads you to panic, as Tim mentioned. And I think my thing, from my perspective, and obviously I have a different perspective than Tim does at the Division I level, being a Division II head coach, is that, and again, just to go off of what Tim said, we all need to calm down a little bit because we don't know what this thing is going to look like. And I see a lot of nonsense on social media and hear a lot of nonsense There is no college coach, professional coach, high school coach, travel coach, junior college coach, any coach that knows exactly what's going to happen. And we hear a lot about, there's going to be backup at this level or that level. Well, if there's going to be backup at one level, there's going to be backup at all levels. So, so I think we need to, be careful with that. And I agree 100%. Try to relax, try not to panic. Let's kind of see where things fall.